What's going on, people? My name is Antoine, this is ATM Tech, and welcome to the channel. So the Z Fold 3 is out now, and we're not going to waste any time. We're going to run through some emulator tests. To kick things off, we're going to start with some PS1 running Tekken 3. PS1 games have been running just fine on Android emulators, and again, it's the exact same case. This is running absolutely fine. No drop frames, no sound issues, no graphical issues. Game runs absolutely perfectly. Now moving on to some N64, for the most part, this runs pretty well. There are a few random graphic glitches. I did play around with the settings, but there's that grey box to the top left that I was just unable to get rid of. But other than that, as I said, it runs pretty well. I did test out some Super Smash Bros as well, as I thought it would be a bit more intensive for the phone, but again, no problems. Up next, we have some Tomb Raider 4 running on the Dreamcast. Now, despite the Dreamcast being a fair bit more powerful than the previous consoles I've just tested, it actually runs really well on emulators. Tomb Raider is a game with a lot of different textures, colours, things rendering in the background, but when being emulated, I was really impressed with how the Snapdragon 888 was able to handle emulation. Up next, we're going to try out some Jet Set Radio, and again, this is a game I expect to have no problems whatsoever. And as you can see, this runs perfectly fine. Now up next we have some PSP. Now PSP emulation is a little bit trickier and it doesn't always work well on all phones. You usually need a flagship processor to get the best experience out of PSP games, so it's a good test for the AAA processor. But from what I can tell, this is running really smoothly. I've also got it bumped up to 4 times resolution as well, so the fact that it's still running so smooth is really impressive. God of War is known to be a game that is very difficult to emulate, but just from what I've seen in my time playing it, no drop frames, skip frames, no sound issues, no nothing. I was definitely really impressed. Next we have some Need for Speed Underground running on the GameCube. Honestly, there's not really much to say about this. Given all the textures, the colours, the shadows, the reflection, these ran absolutely perfectly. The sound was a little bit off at times, but nothing that really interfered with gameplay, and it was only occasional. Same with Mario Sunshine, very playable experience and very similar to what you would get if you were playing on the actual console itself. Now, given the shape and the form factor of the Z Fold 3, I thought it would only be appropriate if I tried out these next few games in handheld mode. So first up, we got some regular Nintendo DS. I definitely got mixed results with different emulators. The most reliable was RetroArch. This gave me the smooth experience without any frame drops, any sound issues or anything. The only tricky thing about emulating DS games and playing them with the touchscreen is that it's very difficult to use the shoulder buttons. Next, we're going to try out some Nintendo 3DS, and admittedly, the Z Fold 3 did struggle at times. Super Mario 3D Land took forever to load, the sound was out of sync, constant drop frames, it was barely playable. I did play around with quite a few of the settings, but I could only fix one thing but then make something else worse. So if there's anyone out there that regularly emulates 3DS games, if you can advise me on some optimal settings, let me know in the comments down below. I managed to get Pokemon Ultra Sun to run okay, but occasionally the sound did go out of sync, and then sometimes the texture layers sort of clipped through or overlapped each other. But this was one of the better games that I was able to test out. Anyway guys, that just gives you a bit of insight as to how well the Z Fold 3 performs when it comes to emulators. If you pause really quickly, you can see all the emulators I've used. But anyway, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like down below. My name is Antoine, this is ATM Tech, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.